Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about how I traveled to Europe for 3 weeks and spent less than $4,000. So let's just get straight into the video. So I'm not going to be doing a get ready with me today, but if you want to see this look, it's on the last video. But I took this grand trip all over Europe after I graduated from college, and it was my graduation gift to myself. I've gotten a lot of questions on this. I'm on TikTok and on Instagram, so I'm going to tell you guys how I actually did it and how I was able to get pretty low deals for such a really great bargain. If you're new here, hi, I'm Dr. B&B Queen now. I love traveling and I typically vlog my travels on this channel. So first and foremost, I planned this out very far in advance. So I knew I was going to graduate in May and I wanted to do this trip during May because that's the cheapest time to travel to Europe from the US. All the while, I started looking at different travel groups that I could go with that would allow me to be solo but also get a really good price, and then also have a lot of those tourist experiences in different locations in Europe. Real quick, the locations that I went to were London in the UK, I went to Paris, then we went to Venice, Rome, Florence, Verona, we went to Munich, Berlin, Amsterdam. We also hit Switzerland and we hit Prague, and then we went to London at the very end. So it was a full trip where we traveled by coach everywhere, but it was a really great experience. And I would definitely recommend this for people who are students and want to travel on a really low budget, or for people who just want a different experience outside of the US. So we did stay in a combination of hostels and hotels for this trip. However, you can book just a hotel trip if that is something that you want to do. But I will say that the hostels that we stayed at were super vetted for cleanliness, service, as well as proximity to the city. So I'm really happy that I booked with this travel group. So the name of the travel group that I use is called Top Deck. I will write it right here. It is an Australian-based travel company for 18 to 30 somethings, and they have a variety of trips that you can choose from based on location, based on travel style, and also based on your budget. So the trip that I did was a 17-day trip, but I added on a few days in the beginning and a few days in the end to make the total amount of travel time to be 21 days. I booked this trip during Christmas time. So they typically have a Christmas deal where you get 20 to 30% off of a trip. Because I had used that promotional deal, I'd actually gotten the trip for about $2,500, and that was for the 17 days. So to be clear, what came with the trip was 17 days of travel. So I had 16 nights of accommodation, and they were again in a combination of hostels and hotels. We had some meals that were also included, and it was all listed on the itinerary. We also had some activities that were included, mostly walking tours. And then we had additional activities that you can pay a few extra bucks for as we went along on the trip. And then last but not least, we did have a celebration dinner and some merch that was also available for us to purchase, available for us at the end of the trip. So overall, I think I definitely got my money's worth from this trip. Now, I have done EF Ultimate Tours, and I personally do not think I got my money's worth from that trip. EF Ultimate Tours is typically more expensive and it's more educational based, whereas Top Deck can be sort of party, or it can be relaxation, or it can be kind of a romantic style, or it can also be a camping style trip if you want. So I had a lot of leeway in what I wanted my trip to be. So that's why I chose that company. I got the trip for about $2,500. And then while I was in Europe, I spent about $1,000 over the 21 days. Now, I definitely could have spent less, but I was YOLOing, right? Living large. I was like, I saved money for this, so I'm gonna spend however much money I want to. But I will say that there were people that also spent way more than I did, and that's based on the number of tourist attractions that you want to visit and go to, and then of course like how much you want to drink and or eat. So I definitely think I got my money's worth with only spending $1,000 over the 21 days. And then in terms of the flight, I booked the flight for I believe $350. And I used a website called Student Universe to book my flight. So again, flights are the cheapest in May before the season starts, and in September when the summer season ends. So since I was traveling in May, I got a really great deal. So I had a round trip flight from Newark to Heathrow, London for $350. And It was really easy for me to get from the airport in Heathrow to my accommodation on the first and the last days. So it was a really, really great trip and a really great bang for my buck. Now, there are other travel groups. Like I said, I did do an EF Ultimate tour. I did not think I got my money's worth out of it, so I would not recommend that anyone do that unless you are really interested in the educational aspects that they do offer. However, if you want to have more free time, then I would recommend you book other companies. I also did hear really great reviews from Busabout. I don't know if they're running since the end of COVID. I know they temporarily stopped with COVID, but Busabout is a really cool way to travel within a continent. So I know one person that booked like a $500 8-day trip Busabout for the Greek islands, which I think is a really great idea to do. And the way that works is you basically get a Busabout ticket, and it is good for the ferries and the bus, and you can hop on and hop off to different locations. So if you're in Athens, you can hop on the bus and it'll take you to, by bus I mean ferry, and it'll take you to the next island, and then it just continues from there on. So there are so many cheap ways to travel, but if you guys want to hear more and want to know more about other ways that I have been to travel throughout the years, please let me know in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.